If you think training is hard, try being weak. That's harder. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. That's one of those things that for me, people bring this stuff up all the time. And I kind of laugh as someone who's been doing this 25 years, someone who spent a year in bed sick and had to rebuild from nothing in the middle of that. When I hear people talk about these things and the effort and the work, I look at them and it's like, guys, I've been there. I have been weak. And I can tell you, I will never let that happen again. Absolutely not going to happen. I've been on the other side of this equation and lost all of my strength, had to learn to walk again after I got sick, spent 10 months in bed back in my 30s, early 30s. And so for me, I look at the ability to train as a blessing. It is a blessing. And people take that for granted, and they don't realize that what they give up by making the choice to be weak, of being frail, okay, the quality of life difference. And again, that's always fascinating to me because so many people are like, oh, you're so dedicated, you put in all this effort. I couldn't put in that effort. And I'm like, do you not understand how much easier it makes things? And I'm not saying you have to be as strong as I am. Look, I'm not saying you got to be throwing around 300, 400, 500 pounds all the time like I do week in, week out when you're like 50 years old. You don't have to do all that. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is the basic efforts to just put in and get to the gym 2-3 times a week, to do some strength training, to be fit is actually easier. It is easier in terms of your day-to-day quality of life output. Because when you are weak, everything is harder. Everything is harder. Hey, when getting up out of a chair or going to the toilet becomes difficult, okay, that means your whole life is hard. And the truth of the matter is, training simply isn't as difficult as people make it out to be. That's the problem I have with so many people. That needs to be some videos. This whole idea that people put forward that training hard is actually hard or difficult isn't true. It requires discipline and habits. That's it. Okay? That's it. Training to failure isn't hard. People, again, oh man, it seems so that you look at your face and you're getting those terminal sets. Really? You don't strain that hard sometimes just going to the bathroom? I mean, I'm joking, but realistically, yeah, it's slightly difficult. Obviously, your muscles are failing, but it's not this enormous effort that, I've got to be so psyched up. I've got to have this music blasting. I've got to do these things to train because it's so hardcore. It isn't. In fact, that's a facade that people put on. That is a facade that people put on to try to look like they're so super hardcore and put in more effort than everybody else. But the fact of the matter is, coming in and doing a set of chin-ups, right? Once you're just used to doing chin-ups, to come in and grab a plate like this and do a set to failure with a plate hanging, you throw 40, 50 pounds around your waist. I got a 45 there, right? I hit failure right there. Came down, couldn't do another rep. Anyone who really thinks that that's difficult compared to some other hardships that we go through in life to just come in and do that, it's not. It really isn't. Hey, it really isn't. But being weak is difficult. Feeling bad is difficult. Having your body hurt every day is difficult. The diseases that ravage us through inactivity are difficult. Okay? The type 2 diabetes, perfect example. I've said before, studies have shown over the decades that just lifting weights twice a week reduces type 2 diabetes risk by 70%. In other words, 2/3 of it would go away with no change in diet, still eating the bad diet that they're eating that's causing it, because that is the primary mechanism. Still 2/3 of them still wouldn't be diabetic if they just worked out. They'd just be pre-diabetic instead of actually diabetic, right? But do you know what's hard? Doing a set of chin-ups to failure isn't hard. Coming in and doing a set of deadlifts till you know a few reps so it sticks on the floor and you can't do another. Sure, that's modestly hard. How do you think that compares to diabetes? Getting up every day knowing that if you misdosed your insulin or whatever, or ate the wrong thing before bed, you're barely going to be able to function. Your head's going to hurt. You're going to have brain fog. You're going to be lethargic. You know what? Having to take insulin with every meal and measure out your dose and figure out based upon the sugar and carb intake of everything that you eat, how much insulin you're going to have to take with that meal just to function. Okay? That's hard. And anyone who's dealt with that, they're like, yeah, he's right. That's pretty difficult. Okay? That's hard. You don't know what's hard? Fighting cancer. And we know strength training reduces cancer risks. We know that strength training increases survivability rates of people who do go through treatment and chemo. But you know what's hard? Getting cancer, going through chemotherapy, losing your hair, feeling the poison flowing through your body, that you're taking it because it will kill off the cancer cells, hopefully before it kills you. Okay? That's hard. Being so weak as you start to get older that you can't even get up off the toilet half the time. You struggle to get up off the toilet when you go to the bathroom. Okay? That's hard. All of those things are hard. Lifting weights is easy. The only hard part about lifting weights is simply getting started and getting into the habit. And people who push this hardcore, you got to be motivated, everything's screaming, you got to do this music and this pre-workout and all this nonsense. Those are the ones who fail. I want to be clear. Most of those people are going to give up. Why? Because they're relying on all that crazy extreme motivation because they've accepted the lie that the training is difficult and they've programmed their brain to believe it. Instead of just saying, coming in and getting my workout is like brushing my teeth in the morning. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.